Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy iTrade Tuesdays. Trading with me. I typically do this in the group. However, I wanted to jump on here and share some quick insights on just how I use Fibonacci pivots and how I determine whether or not I'm going to jump into a trade or not, simply based because one of my buddies, Heath, asked me last night, and I said, well, rather than go back and forth on a message, I'll jump on here this morning and explain how I use Fibonacci pivots. If you don't know me, my name's Forrest Knight, social media marketing strategist and coach and trader. Absolutely love doing this stuff. It's a lot of fun, very, very competitive. It's a cool way to make a few extra dollars if you can get in on a day and trade. Most recently, I've been scalping the US 30, and some days you have pretty good. Yesterday, I made an awesome $64, not doing very much. I literally just opened the trade, went in, had a lot of other stuff going on, so I couldn't really focus on that yesterday. Just had a lot of other stuff happening, so I jumped into that. So Heath, this is specifically for you, buddy, to talk about the Fibonacci pivots and how I use them and how I see them, and I've been using them for quite a while, and how they make sense to me. There may be some other more expert traders out there that use them differently than I do. They may actually use the regular Fibonacci to figure out when they're going to get in and out of a trade, whether they're going from a 0.38 to 0.076, whatever, right? I don't use that typically in scalping, not necessary. So I'm going to come in and just go through and show you some of the Fibonacci pivots and how I use them and why I would enter a trade and not enter a trade. So we'll jump right into this. If you ever have any questions, you'd like to join me in class, one of the best ways to learn how to trade is to get into a formal education platform. Watching a guy like me on social media, a couple of videos, and then getting in and trading and losing all your money is probably not a good idea. I would recommend enrolling into a class. I've got one that I can refer to you. They've got live instructors, 35 hours of live classes a week. You can plug in where you fit in. They've got recorded class. They've got an awesome community, and it's a very, very affordable program. And it's not a network marketing thing where you have to join a network marketing company. It's strictly an online educational platform that you can enroll in and learn how to trade. Recommend, if you do go down that path, that you find 3 to 5 hours a week to commit to it for at least a minimum of 6 months. Recommend that's just to get started. And then, of course, just stay in class for the next couple of years and get in the community and meet people and make friends and build relationships and learn this craft. You're going to go to college for 4 years to get a business degree to get a job, right? Why not spend several years learning how to trade so you don't have to have a job? You can literally sit in front of your computer for half an hour to 90 minutes a couple of times a day and make more money in a couple of days than most people make all month. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Income disclaimer, that may or may not happen for you. Most people don't have the patience. They want to make the money now, and they get in and lose. So recommend, if you're going to learn how to trade, that you have patience, sit on your hands, because coming out the other side, if you take the time to really invest in learning and getting educated and getting inside the community, you can get some inside stuff on some really, really cool stuff, some really cool passive opportunities that are available in the trading industry, just some really, really cool income opportunities that you wouldn't know about outside of trading that are inside the community as well. So we're going to jump right in here. We're going to talk about Fibonacci pivots. I'm going to keep an eye on the market. I don't like trading outside of these, so we'll see how I feel today. And again, sometimes it's 90%. It's like, you shouldn't get in your feelings. If the trade doesn't feel right, don't take it, right? They say don't force trades. If something just doesn't feel right, it doesn't fit into your wheelhouse, then just skip the day, because the money's going to be there tomorrow, right? If you're trading because you're broke and you're in emergency mode and you need money, probably not a good idea to trade. So that's my insight, and I'm sticking to it. So let's jump over here and take a quick look at the Fibonacci pivot. So I'm on the hour time frame. If you can see that my screen's a little bit messy here, I entered some buy stops yesterday, looking, and they're sitting there, and I know the US 30 is going to come back and run through those buy stops, and when they do, I'm going to automatically catch some pips on that, which is nice. Currently, the only thing I have open is my chandelier right now, and I want to show you these Fibonacci's. I went out to the hour time frame. I'm on traditional candles just to get a really, really good look at where everything is going. You can sort of see the US 30, right? It's sort of in a downtrend. Overall, it's trending down this way, right? Everything is trending down this way. It had a low right here. It's actually gone a little bit lower than that. It's heading down. Coming back here, you can see I had a low here. This was back in February 23rd. Had a low there, and of course you need to go all the way back this way to look at some stuff. But this is just the most recent lows. You have a low here. I've got another low here that's just dropped, and it looks like I've now created a new lower low for the US 30. I went in and I didn't see any news, right? I didn't see any news, at least on Forex Factory, other than the Euro, GDP. There might be some other news to look at. If somebody's got a better way to look at the US 30 for news to see how it's going to respond to the market, I'll gladly take that referral. Go take a look at it. But the Canadian dollar looks like it's got something going on here at 7:30 a.m. this morning. That may have had something to do with where US 30 is going. We came out of a President's Day holiday yesterday. That may be a reason why US 30 is just going down this way. We're going to see what happens at 8:30. At 8:30, US 30 may turn around and go shroom and take off. I don't typically like to trade. Let me come back here. I'm skipping ahead of myself. Anyway, let me stay focused for us. Focus. 8:45, we're going to get some US news coming in here. USD flash services. Let's click on this and see what this says. Level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers in the service industry, actually greater than forecast is good. It's monthly, around 3 weeks into the current month. So you can see it was a little bit better for January. It was up just a point, so it was green. December, it was red, so it was a little bit less than forecast or worse than forecast. And they've got some actual notes over here. If you go here, this is just forexfactory.com. You can come in here, click on the calendar. You can read these news. If you can figure it out, great. But typically, they say red folders are going to make a big impact on the market. Orange folders may be a slight impact on the market. You can see they've got the U.S. flash manufacturing. So we've got some news coming in around 8:45, 9 o'clock this morning that may impact trading, right, across the board. So it may impact some types of trades versus other types of trades. And the US 30, which if you want to Google it and look it up, just Google US 30 and I'll tell you exactly what's involved in US 30. It may take off and just go and run back up this way, right? Right now it's just sort of sitting near a low point in the market. So that's one way to look at it. So let's go down to lower time frame. Let me zoom in on this just a little bit. Whoops, just took off on me. So you can see this is the hour time frame that we're looking at. These are the Fibonacci pivots. This is a tool that I like to use, and I've learned a lot of times I can grab some money just based on looking at where price went before. I typically know that if I'm going to enter a buy stop, for example, I know trade is sitting right in this area, right? The price came down, 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 down. It's sitting at this S1. Typically, in most cases, when price is below my S1 line, it's going to break and it's going to come down here. It's going to bounce off of my S2. It may or may not break through. So what I can do is in this area, in this price range, I can set a sell stop. And I always like to set my sell stop just below where it's never like right on the line. And I never set the take profit right on the line. I always just put it in the middle. And usually with a nice lot size in this area, in a move like this, you can make several hundreds of dollars in a very, very short amount of time. Now, this is on the hour time frame. So if I go down to the 15-minute, let's hit refresh. If I come down to the 15-minute and come into an area like this, you can see I've got my S1 to S2 move. Again, my candles are a little bit crazy, but again, there's a nice little bit of money that would have been made in here. Same thing coming back the opposite direction, depending on how you set up your trades. When you're using the Fibonacci pivots, you can get in and get out. And for example, in this area right here, you can see there's a move right in here where I could have entered a buy stop, right? Hit a buy stop, hit a sell stop inside these Fibonacci's, inside the Fibonacci points here. This is the P, right, on this side. And this is actually running into the end of the day. So this is an afternoon one. This is at 2 o'clock. This is a huge lot of money right here that ran through this day. That was back on the 16th of February. So got a lot of money in here if you pay attention to the Fibonacci pivots. Now, going back to what I was saying to Heath, right? When price is below, and he was talking about trading the, I think, AUD JPY or USD JPY, I think that's what he was saying. When price is below my S3 or above my R3, right? Up here, price is way up in this area above my R3 Fibonacci pivots or below. I usually don't enter or take a trade, especially if this is trending this direction. It's going to turn around and come back. It's going to come back here. Now, it may not come back until the next day. End of day here is right at about 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. It may run and do some of this kind of crazy stuff. So I'm going to take my little tool here and I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to run this across here like that to get a general idea on where price is going. Let's open this up just a little bit. Where price is going. I just want to use this as an eyeball to see if price is going to hover around here and just range until that news hits at 8:45, and then it's going to bolt here. I still may not take a trade in that area in a buy, but there's a lot of money in this area right here. Even just this morning, there was quite a bit of money from 6:30. That would have been a nice candle right here to jump on the trade. So let's go down to the 5-minute. I'll take a look at the 5-minute time frame here. Again, most of the direction of the trend is selling, right? Most of the trend is selling. So if you entered a buy, say, for example, in this area, you'd be doing a counter trend trade on the overall move, right, of where the trend is going. Even if we go back to the overall trend, you had a lot of ranging going through here, bouncing off the Fibonacci pivots. You see my green lines in here. That's where I got some stuff set. I could probably clear that stuff. I just want to leave it up there, though, because I want to see price come back through it. But you can see how it's starting to trend back up here. It's about 10 minutes after 8 here in the St. Louis area, and it's trending back up. And once it gets above the S3, I'm going to feel more comfortable setting some trades, because I know once it actually comes here, it might come to this S3 and hang out and do this, and then it's going to break up here. Anywhere inside between my pivot lines, I'm okay with taking a trade, because once a candle breaks and starts heading this way, it's going to come up here, and then it's going to do its little thing and hang out in this supply zone. Is going to hang out there a little bit, and then once it breaks, it may come here. Now, if there's not enough room in between my Fibonacci pivots, I may just wait. Again, it's okay to wait, right? We've got a lot of room from the S1 to the P, right? So you've got a lot of ranging in here. So I might enter a buy stop in this area if it trends and turns and decides to come in the other direction. So the value of moving things like this and moving up. Hold on one second. I got to answer this quick. Text message. Yes. I'm doing a live. I'll send you the screenshots when I'm done. So coming back to talking about trading in this range, you can see, and I just put an eyeball down here. I wanted to see a general idea on where price is going. It's jumping up and down. When 830 hits, US 30 has a tendency to take off. So I want to make sure I'm sitting on my phone. Again, I'm not a big fan of taking the trade when it's below the S3. And again, that's me. Let me switch this over from buy stop to market execution. I've got my lot size set in here, and you want to have a lot size according to your value in terms of what your broker, most likely, if you have $500 in your trading account and you're trying to set a 0.15 lot size or something like that, your broker's probably try to hit trade and it's going to go, it's probably going to give you a buzzer and say you don't have enough money, because you don't have enough money. If you're going to trade US 30 on a live account, I would recommend, starting with no less than like $3,000, $4,000, somewhere in that range, to give yourself room for any possible drawdowns, to give yourself room for margins, any of that kind of stuff, so that when you do hit the enter button, either the buy or the sell, you're going to actually have room to actually do something. And of course, on this side here, we're looking at my MetaTrader 4 on my phone and watching the candles to see where they're going to go. And again, just getting a lot of wicking in here, which means we've got a lot of indecision. You've got some buyers in the market. You had a nice little buy candle here. Then you have some sellers jump in and say no. And then these guys know, no, you want to buy? No, you want to sell? No, you sell, I'll buy. And they're just jumping back and forth, right, in the US 30. And this is pretty much true with any pair. Now, if you're trading a slower moving pair like the USD JPY or the AUD USD that typically follows gold, you may have a little bit slower move. So scalping may not be something you might want to do. You might want to do something more like an intraday trade where you can then use the Fibonacci pivots and set up a trade that if you know it's trending in a buy, you could open up a trade just as it crosses the S3. I would set something here just about halfway up on my S3 and then set my trade to close just prior to the S1. And I know that trade's going to eventually work its way back up here. Make sure you set yourself a nice stop loss. Maybe set it right at the S3 mark so it would look something like this, right? So I'm going to come in here. I'd set a long position where I'd do something just like that. You see? Just eyeballing it, something like this. Then I'm going to bring my stop loss up here and set it right like this. That way, if this price runs up and it runs through here, it's going to come up. It's going to blow past this. I want it to get way past my S3. Price is going to open here. It's going to run up here. It's probably going to hang on this S2, and then it's going to bust through, and I'll take profit here. Nice little run, right? It's a perfect. I didn't even plan it. It's a ratio. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, which is cool on this move. There's a lot of money right here. This is a nice lot of little money that I could set. But with it being down here, see, it's starting to come back. It may come back and run all the way back up here. I've got this huge candle here, so it's probably going to be somewhere right in this range. And I could, of course, looking at my MetaTrader 4 on my phone, I can always close a trade when I want to. Not too crazy about working on trades down here. I might just let it set and run up here, right? Some people are like, oh, yeah, open the trade, go now. The candles are too wishy-washy because it might end up doing this like all day long. And you're going to get some drawdown. It may come up a little bit. It may do some stuff like this, and it may not do anything until really the next day. It might just hang out in this range. I want to come all the way back up here, right, before I enter. This is just me. That's my deal. You can see there, again, nice move right here, right? Nice move right here. And you can see what I just entered here is exactly what just happened here. Trade came down underneath my S3. It broke through, right? It broke through. So I'm going to enter right here. I'm going to set my trade. And I'm going to set my take profit right there. Nice little bit of money on that move. Same thing coming back the other direction, right? Once it's done with that move, it came back. Now it didn't consolidate along here. It didn't break through. It actually turned around and came back down, following the overall trend, right? Following the overall trend of the US 30. So this may just hang out. Who knows? Depending on what's going on in the market, it may trend down here. Looking at my MACD, right? Coming down here in the bottom, if you can see this down on my MACD, I've got buyers in the market right now. It's sort of squishy. I've got to come all the way back up here to my 0 line, which is probably somewhere right around my S3, if I was to guess, right? Before you're really going to be in a buyer's market in terms of trends heading this way. Then it's going to come up here and come down and back down on the bottom side. As you can see that on my MACD, had a lot of consolidation in here. Did a nice little jump yesterday. Came up here yesterday, which is not too bad. Actually, that was early this morning. That was 3 o'clock this morning. Of course, I was sleeping, and then another one jumped in here. So if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning trading US 30, you could have made a nice little bit of money there. You could have made a nice little bit of money here. Again, it just depends. Again, this is scalping, right? Works in a little bit different area. Let's go down to the 1 minute time frame here. It's actually on the 5 minute. You can see how crazy that is. On the 1 minute, it's just up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And this is where you actually get in and scalp at this time frame. But you've got to be so quick on your fingers, right? I'm not entering anything right here because I'm waiting for my MACD to see if sellers are jumping back in the market, but it may turn around and come back. Had a few buyers jump in right here. Let me get rid of that. All right, so a lot of just movement up and down and up and down and up and down. And this is where you got to be really quick on the trigger finger when you're scalping. You see, could have tried to enter here. Just got to wait for that move. 8:30 is typically where the market's going to take off if it's going to do anything at all. And it doesn't mean that you can't come in earlier, right? Here's a nice little trade. This was at 7 o'clock. Could have made a nice little money here. The chandelier said you're in a selling market. Again, I'm way below my Fibonacci S3, so that's just giving me some pause to be able to jump into a trade like this because it's ugly, right? And Fibonacci aren't the end-all, meet-all to where a trade. It's just how I do trades, right? It's how I operate in the trading market that I sort of figured it out, right? That's how I do that. I just know that where a trade's going to go. And you can see sellers jump back in here. I've got a MACD up. It looks like my MACD is trying to go below my zero line here. It's heading. If I get some decent space here, but now some buyers jump back in. I've got a lot of wicking on these. If I jump over to my Heikin Ashi candles, you can see we got a lot of wicking on the Heikin Ashi candles, just like I called it caterpillar, the Chinese caterpillar. If you ever seen those parades where they have the big dragons that do this stuff, that's what it reminds me of. I don't know why, but it just does, sort of a caterpillar look with all the legs and wicks on here. Got a lot of indecision going on in the market. You got a nice little buy run right here, which isn't bad. I would have felt if I was going to do this trade, if I had the Fibonacci pivots in here of saying, okay, it just broke a Fibonacci pivot. It's going to run up to this one. I can jump in a trade, and it just helps me eyeball, where I want to go on a trade. When everything's way down here, it's really hard to tell when these guys are just going to turn around. Like this candle, like, oh, jump in. It's just my chandelier said sellers are in the market. I've got another MACD down here. I'm actually above my zero line and 54, so that actually might be a good trade right there. We'll see what happens. See how far that candle goes at 45 seconds. See, it's not quite breaking this wick on this previous candle, right? It's not quite breaking that wick. Let's take a look at, that means I got some buyers jumped in the market that switch over candles. Yep. See, it means I got buyers that jump back in the market here. So this may come back and come back this way again. So whether or not you jump in the market, although there's just the MACD just say there are sellers in the market, doesn't necessarily mean there are. So I may just sit here and watch this today and not do anything. I like trading on Tuesdays, but the trades have got to be in my wheelhouse based on how my brain works looking at this stuff to get into a trade, because I do not want to sit in, draw down all day. That is unbelievably, crazily irritating to me, to be in drawdown for days and days and days and days waiting for a trade to turn around. And it's just not fun at all. So I just want to get in, get my money in. And if it's a day that I don't make any money, I'm okay with that, because guess what? We'll be back tomorrow. And then we'll be back on Thursday. And then Friday. And there's a lot of trades. Who knows? It might not take off based on this calendar of what's going on in the market. Right, what we've got going on in the market, we might not see anything until a little bit later today, right? This is 8:45. This might not take off until noon and get way back up here into this area where I might actually go in and set a buy stop. It's going to start right here and close right here and just wait for the price to go through that, open and close, and I make some money sort of on autopilot. I don't have to sit in front of my computer all day with the Fibonacci pivots. Eventually, it's going to come back there. Right, I can literally open that trade, set up a buy stop, and just let it wait. Right, just wait for it to come back in the other direction, wait for it to turn around, and just let it set. Who knows? It might not kick in until Thursday. It might not get there till Thursday. We don't know. It might just do a lot of this ranging stuff, just going back up and down, sort of teeter-tottering along, making its way along through this. Again, this is scalping this on the 1 minute time frame. If you go up to the 1 hour, right, and get a bigger picture on price right here. Let me turn off the pivots. Right, it's hard to see this stuff because I've got some news, but you can see on the 1 hour, we came down, we came up, did some ranging, and we came back down, and we're hanging out in this area. We've got a huge bunch of sellers in the market. We've got a bunch of sellers jumped in the market here, came back, the buyers jumped back in the market here, got the sellers came back and said no, and just basically took back all this money here, wiped out all this liquidity, and then we got, we don't know what we're doing, and came back again, and it did some more ranging. So I have a feeling, right, based on what I'm looking at over here, and based on what I've learned on class, they've got a lot to come back to, right? It's going to come back into this range, right up in here, right? It's going to go and run right back up here, and it's probably going to do another one of these things. Depending on where it goes, it may come back up and just hang out in this area and just stop on me, because we've got a lot going on here through this area here. We got a lot of demand zone up in this area here, so we've got a lot of demand going on. So it may come here and just bounce off this area, then come back down this way again. We'll see. we'll see how far it's going to break in this direction based on this news at 8:45. Looking at my hour, you see my MACD. Everything is telling me it's trending in a selling zone, right, for sellers in the market. But we'll just wait and see what happens, right? We'll just wait and see what happens. Again, that's on the hour. Come back to the 15-minute again. Everything is trending in a buying direction, or I'm sorry, in a selling direction. Let me get my MACD up here just a little bit. Let me pull that up. Looks like maybe some buyers are trying to jump in the market here on my 15-minute. Let's go down to the 5-minute. Hung out here. And let's just have some fun. Let's throw the cloud on this, see what the cloud is saying. Cloud is saying tons of sellers in the market, right? Got my lagging span below price. Price is way below my cloud, right? It's got to come back this way, right? And again, one of the rules of trading in the cloud is don't take trades in the cloud. So you see, if I set a buy stop up here, way above this area, set it way up in this area. Once it breaks through this cloud, right, it's above my cloud here, it's going to run this way, right? It just does. And it's going to probably come somewhere in the range of this area back here. And then it might do another dive again and basically make its way back up. And that's just looking at this stuff and getting it in your brain and just understanding how things bounce and or how things dance, as I like to call them. A lot of indecision going on here in the 5-minute. Let's jump down to the 1-minute and see if it's the same thing. Hit the refresh. See, price is a lot in the cloud, right? It's just right underneath the cloud. Cloud is sort of flat. Not a lot going on in this market this morning. Got a lot of this stuff going on. So we may just hang out. Totally up to you how you trade. Lagging spans in the price. There's no trade going on right now, right? Again, we are scalping. Things move a little bit faster in the scalp. Stuff just may just take off here. We're going to wait till here just a few minutes till 8:30. Let me blow this up just a little bit. Get an idea on this. Come down to my MACD, and we'll see what happens. Right? If price breaks off and comes through this cloud and heads up in that direction, who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm got a lot here. I'm gonna turn my fibs back on. It's not gonna Fibonacci. My S3 is way up here. We got a lot of space to go. Right, my Oracle. My Oracle is here. We got a lot of space to go, and then of course I'm sitting right in price in the cloud in this area. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. We've got the lagging span back here in price. I might just hang out and just wait to see what happens. Oh, there, buyers jumped in. See that big buyers cloud? It's 8:30. Right, it's getting really close to 8:30. Buyers are trying to jump back in early, break through the cloud. See if it runs up here a little bit. Sellers jump back in. It's getting ready for the S3. Look at my MACD, right? My MACD, we don't have all the buyers in the market yet, right? My lines are getting a little bit darker red down here, coming up on my 0 area. Buyers are trying to jump back in, and it may just take off and head north here for a little bit. It's going to come up to this Oracle. If it does, it's going to come up in this area and meet that Oracle, unless that Oracle just decides to turn around and go in another direction. We'll see. But again, you see I've got a green cloud out here, which means buyers are trying to come back into the market. Just a lot of hanging out, getting closer to 8:30. Got a couple of minutes to go. We'll see what happens in this market. See all the sellers jump right back in and just countered that. So if you're not really quick on the trigger, you could be in drawdown right now if you entered a buy at that point, right? Same thing here. We've got sellers jumping back in the market. We'll see where it goes. Good morning, beautiful. So do you think if we clean the ink on my printer head?
No, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do sublimation and be done. Sublimation and vinyl.
Wife's trying to do some DTF printing, and we can't get her printer to print onto the DTF paper, which is driving her nuts. So, which is very, very cool. If you're into that printing, sellers jump in the market. It must be just about 8:30. Big cloud there. We'll see where this next candle goes. We'll see where this next candle goes. This is where it gets fun. That would have ruined your day right there. That would have ruined your day right there on that move. Right? Sellers are going to come back. That's a big move. 45 seconds in. It's the 8:30 jump. Right? If you entered this trade on these candles right here, your drawdown is kicking your butt right now. Right? Again, I'm just going to wait for the next candle. Right? There's a lot of money right here, but sometimes if you enter a trade right here at this time, it's just going to mess up your entire day. So I'm going to wait till this next candle and see if it breaks past my Oracle. Lagging span just busted through the cloud. Price is coming through the cloud. If my next candle breaks to a buy, it's going to run in this direction, especially if it breaks above my Oracle line here. I don't have my Fibonacci pivots to work with. So we're going to see 3 seconds. We'll see where it goes. Sellers coming back in the market. We'll see buyers trying to break through the cloud here. It's breaking in 45 seconds. There we go. Got a lot of wicking. It's going to hang around that Oracle for just a minute. We'll see what's going to happen on my next candle. See if it runs up to that S3. See if it's going to run up to the S3 or if it's going to turn around. You see my cloud turned up here. Got a lot of buyers jumping in the market. The sellers are coming back. Sellers are coming back in. They're trying to come back in anyway. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, that was a nice candle. Sellers breaking out. It's going to range a little bit along this Oracle. I'm going to get some ranging in this area here till it figures out where it wants to go through this zone. Right? See my clouds flattening out a little bit, so we're going to get a little bit of ranging. It's going to try to push back to that S3. It's going to try to break. If this next candle breaks the top of this wick here, right? He's pushing. So my next candle breaks here in about 30 seconds. If it breaks and pushes this way, get another seller's candle in here. Right now, everything's telling me it's going to get ready to go north. There's going to be some nice money in this zone up here. Right? We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm looking at my MetaTrader in this zone. We still got that 8:45 news, so we got a good 10 minutes before the 8:45 news kicks in to see what happens there. See if that price goes above that wick. Got some sellers jumping back in, and not quite where we want. Let's get that out of there. Get that cleared out of there. We'll see. A lot of indecision. It's pushing. Yeah, we got a lot. 33,580. We'll see how the next candle goes. I'm gonna hit it buy on that one. And then I'm going to go to a modify. Take profit at 33,590. Oh, already pushed to it. just grabbed $71 there. Let's come back and jump in on this bad boy again. All right. Sellers are coming back. Sometimes you gotta watch. You gotta be very, very quick on these, right? Well, that's messing around here. 33,626. Let's do a buy stop. Enterprise 33,626. 626. $626. And we're gonna go 33,656. All right, entered a buy stop. If you're not sure what those are, get into class. 56. All righty. Style green. And I just entered a buy stop here. Just like that. Set my stop loss in that area there. Now I'm going to put my stop loss right there, 33,613. So if this does come back to this, I'm going to put a little note in here, right? Note. Entered buy stop at 8:35 a.m. on 2/21/23. Right. I know price is going to come back there. I just got to wait for it to come to. That's a later in the day or later tomorrow or whenever it's going to hit. Let me hit refresh and get back here and see my candles a little bit better. See what's going on here. Turn off the cloud. You can see price it busted through the oracle right here, right? Came back up, came right back to it, and now it's hanging out, right? If I could get my S4 and S5 pivots to display on TradingView, which I cannot seem to get to do. If anybody knows how to do that, point me to a video. I gladly watch it. But again, we've got this news coming up here in just about 5-6 minutes for the 8:45 news to see what's going to happen in this market, to see where it's going to go. That one little move that I did, that trade was open for all of, all of less than a minute for $71.84. So I'll take it, right? That might be just one of those weeks. Again, have a daily goal of $500 a day average through the trading week, which is the goal to get to $2,500 by the end of the week. And again, if I don't quite get there, I'll be okay, right? I'll be okay working. I don't know, when do we start this live? At 8 o'clock. It's been 38 minutes. And I don't know where you can go. And I literally made $71 in less than a minute. Just hanging out. We'll see what happens. It's been a crazy, crazy morning. I've got this buy stop entered up here. So when price does take off and head up this way, I'm going to grab a little bit of money, busting through that. And I've got some other buy stops set up prior to that. So when it busts through those up this way and it comes back up here into that zone, again, a couple of more dollars to be made up there when price comes back that direction. And I just lost where I'm at. Let me hit refresh. Okay. Let's come back up here. Yeah, we got a lot going on in the market this morning. Come back up here to my trade. Turn off the buy stop, go to market execution. And a lot of this times too is just paying attention to what you're doing in the market. Again, it's not mandatory. If you just got to make the money right now and you're in desperate need, trading isn't for you, right? So just hanging out, watching the market. For all my trading buddies, that we used to do this every morning. I miss that. That was so much fun. Everybody jumping in. There was usually about 50 or 60 people that would come in and do iTrade Tuesdays. and we jump into a private deal and we could come in. Some people would make 25 bucks. And again, it's having a goal. If you're brand new to trading, right? If you're brand new to trading, you've got to have modest goals. And if you could get it to figure out where, okay, I'm gonna come in today, I'm gonna make 25 bucks, and you're out. And then you do that for a while and you figure out how to use whatever tool you're going to use, whatever indicator you're going to use. There's some people that do bare naked trading. In other words, they don't use any indicators at all, right? Yeah, me too, Don. Well, that's what I'm doing now, buddy. That's the deal. I don't know if you're in my iTrade group, but if you want to jump over there, you can come and hang out, and we can do this every morning. I'm just doing this publicly live, just to say how cool it is to trade. I'm sitting here. I've been here all of 40 minutes. Not a lot of time. You don't specifically have to do this in the morning. You can do evening trades in the evening where you're trading the Asian market. You're not going to be trading US 30 then, because it moves very, very minutely. Basically, the best time to trade US 30 is roughly you could say 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time to get into the US 30. And again, just depends on the day. It depends on what's going on in the market. There's no consistency. Once you figure out the overall trend of the pair that you want to dance with, gold's another one, right? Gold right now is probably doing some crazy stuff in relationship to the dollar. If I go in and take a look at what the dollar's doing on the trade, you can trade gold. A ton of people trade gold, which is absolutely cool. Gold doesn't move quite as fast as US 30, but it definitely has its day. And it looks like we're fixing to break away from that Oracle again. Cool. Almost at 3% gold. There you go. There you go, Don. Cool deal, buddy. Yep. And again, you can have percentage goals like Don has a percentage of growth in relationship to where he was the day before. So let's say, for example, he has a $1,000 account. He wants to grow that by 3%. He's just got to make 30 bucks for the day. And then the next day, maybe $30.30. And then he's going to grow that at 3% a day. It just depends on what you want to do for a goal, right? My goal is to consistently do $500 a day, get really, really good at that. And then I'll bump that to $1,000 a day, right? Or $750, just depends, right? Some days last week, I had a couple of days where I was just under $1,000, right? I had 2 days that were, one was like 930, other one was something else, right? Again, there's not going to be a perfect day. I had a couple of days that were a little bit under. Like yesterday, I did $84 and I wasn't really in the market at all. I just jumped in, grabbed it real quick because I had a lot of other stuff going on. So I couldn't spend really any time in front of the computer at all, but to be able to walk away. So we'll see how this morning goes. Again, I like to use the Fibonacci pivots as one of my areas of trading. So I'm a little bit hesitant when it's doing this stuff down here. Probably feel better if it was up into this area. And again, I'm talking about feelings, right? Just the way it's what I've learned. And that's absolutely okay. Once you learn it, you don't want to just go on feelings. I feel like the market's going to go this way. It's based on how the market moves in relationship to the tools that you use. Gives you a good idea. I know hanging around the Oracle, right? Price came up to it, sort of hung around, left it, came back to it, sort of hanging around. It's just bumping out in this area, consolidating a little bit, probably waiting for that 845. At 8:45. We'll see what happens here. We got just a couple of minutes before that news kicks in. Don's been trading for a while. I think would you jump into class about 18 months ago, Don? Something like that. I know it's been a little bit. I like to watch candles again. If I flip over to Heikin-Ashi candles, Heikin-Ashi candles are a good way to watch an overall trend, especially if you're doing an intraday trade and you want to get a good trend move. You can watch this stuff May of 22. Nice. So coming up on be a year here in a couple of months. Nice. Right. And I bet you Don can tell you that he's still learning, right? He's still learning. He's in trading too. So it just takes practice, right? Some days, one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got was when one of our trading buddies asked a question of he wanted to go to the next dollar level and basically our instructor, John, said, practice at that level, right? If you're going to change your lot size, you want to change his lot size. And he said, get a demo account, open up the demo account with your current balance in it, and then practice for a week with that demo account, or whatever time you want, but I think he said a week. Practice with that demo account until you feel comfortable at the next lot size, because literally going from like a 0.08 lot size to say a 0.15 lot size, you're going to see a lot more price movement in the same move. You're going to see your drawdowns are going to be a lot bigger, a lot faster, versus going in something else. So if you are going to test something and you're going to move from a lot size to another lot size, open up a demo account or have a demo account on the side that you can practice with for several days until you get comfortable to how it moves, and see if that's a comfortable lot size for you to move to. If it is, and you can stand it, then go ahead and make that move. So always practice with stuff. Well, we got a lot of stuff going on in the market right now. It's just bouncing off that Oracle. Don's probably sitting over there, man, I just hit my goal, man. I'm out for the day. Hey, absolutely cool. See that 845 news kicked in there. Had a bunch of buyers try to jump in the market. Seller said, nope, not happening. Not happening, not happening, not happening. And we'll see if this next candle actually runs away from price. It doesn't have a lot of room to go down here, right? This is its low point for the day, so there's not a lot of room for those sellers to jump in the market. I have a feeling we're going to have buyers jump back in the market here in just a second. We'll see how this next candle loads out, but it's going to come right back here. I'm gonna have to go back and see what's going on in this zone, because this zone seems to be a resistance zone for price. Seems to be coming down in this area and just sort of hanging out. Actually, this wick just got a new lower low on this candle right here, lower than this one, which was lower than this one, which was lower than this one. So you can see even on the lower time frame. So you had a candle here, then this one was lower, then that one was lower, then this one was lower, then this one was lower. Now this one is lower, right? Got all of this. It just hit my zero line on my MACD. We're going to see where this candle goes. It may actually create a new lower low in terms of the overall trend. Again, our trend is more sellers than buyers. However, I did set some buy stops up there because price always goes back to where it was before. Whether you're heading up or heading down, it always goes back. But now it seems like it's creating some lower lows, even though it's hanging out in this area. Let me grab my favorite color here. I'm going to drop in an orange line, and I'm going to come back and look at this and see where that's going on the larger time frames. Wow, it's just heading. Sellers are popping in there. Man, just made $92. Actually, I thought it was 92. It hit 80, so I'm at 151 right now. Just that quick. Let me go back out of this. Come back in there. Yep, so you just gotta be quick on the fingers. Quick on the fingers. There's literally like 2 seconds. Grab another $80. It's fun, right? It's fun if you can see those coming. And again, it's practice. I watch the countdown timers over here on the side. I look at candles to see where they're going. The candle obviously broke this zone, created a new lower low here. So now I'm going to move. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this because I just want to see where that's going. I think if I click on this, I can change my visibility. text alignment, style, extend left. There we go. All right. So now I can see that. I can go back and look at that and see what's going on in that zone here a little bit later. So whatever happened in that 845 news, right, it caused this little drop in here because a lot of sellers anticipated the market. Buyers are coming back. So, okay, yeah, we'll let that happen. Let's see what's going on with the cloud here. Let's see what the cloud's got going on. Cloud went crazy right in here. Tried to buy it. Some buyers tried to jump back in. Looks like we've got some sellers. Looks like it's going to go into consolidation mode. I want to come up here. I want to look at where that line is going. Where's my orange line? Here's my orange line. Let me close that cloud out. Wow, we've got a lower low. They can come all the way down here. We've got a higher high, which is way up here. So you got a lot of play in the Dow Jones when we're messing around with this. We've got a lower low here. So you got a lot going on in this market. Yeah, we've got a zone right here that probably seems to be bouncing off of right in this area. Got a lot of candles that have hit, right? Both got candles here, got candles here, got more candles here. There's something going on in this zone. You had a candle come up here, came all the way down, and came back up to this zone here. So this seems to be a zone where US 30 likes to hang out, coming all the way back. Again, had a lot of stuff going on in this area. Price hit this. This is my orange line. Came down here, hit that area again. Came way down here. Came back up through it. Touched it again. So it's where US 30 seems to like to hang out, like through this area, right in here. So cool deal. I'm sitting here running my lips. Missed a big old candle on that one. Let me hit refresh. Let's come down to the 1 minute. Oh, I got that one already. Okay. Heath, I think some of the better classes that you can jump into are anything that are supply and demand zone classes. One of the class you can jump into also is the one with G Money at 8 o'clock on Wednesday mornings. He actually does a if you want to call it a boot camp style, where he goes in and marks up his charts so you can see exactly what he's doing. Then he comes back at noon, so it's like from 8 to 9, and then from like noon to 1, sort of does a recap of what he did in the morning time. And then he has an evening class. You have to check on the calendar. I want to say the evening class like 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays for sure. So again, Wednesdays is a good day to be in class, looking at that. And any of the supply and demand classes, just to get a general idea on how classes move. And then the best thing to practice, like I said this morning, Keith, is in the S3s, right? Price right now is way below my S3, which is here. And as I mentioned, I was saying last night, I typically don't like to get into opening trades in this area. I grabbed a couple of trades this morning in this area. But again, I put in a buy stop here because I know once price gets through its consolidation on the S3, open a trade here sort of in the middle, close the trade before it gets to the S2, right? There's going to be some money in there, and it's going to run all the way up. Depending on how it gets there, it might not get there until the end of the day, right? It may not move to that point until the end of the day. We're going to see what happens in terms of moving through those zones and seeing where it actually gets to, right? Something's going on here that seems like price overall likes to come into this area, right? Likes to come and hang out in this area. So it's going to come back. It's probably going to run up this area and come back here again eventually. So there's a lot of money here. It's just a matter of watching the pair, learning how to use the tools that you have at your disposal to get a general idea on where stuff is going. And oh, by the way, Heath, I talked to Aaron, and he says that the fast system, right, that you can actually, he's got an upgraded version of that has a monthly subscription to it. If that's something that you want to, I think he said it's like $97 a month. You can purchase that fast system with the indicators. It has all the stuff that goes with it. I'm going to ask him if he's going to be doing any kind of specific training that comes along with that when you purchase that system, because I know he's actually working, in another company now, doing his education on another platform. But he did say that you could purchase a fast indicator system for $97 a month. So that's something you want. I'm going to talk to him more, see if he's got maybe somewhere he's actually an actual training that's outside of his other company that he's doing this to basically teach people how to use that new upgraded version of the fast system. But I'll get some more details for you and get that back to you. That's part of one of the tools that I use. I've been using for a long time, and very, very neat. That's some of the stuff you'll see running here in the background, these purple and blue clouds. And the guy that built it actually just did a lot of upgrades to it, and he can actually, it's one of those purchased indicators. I want to say it's about $97 a month, but I'll get some more details on it. But very, very cool indicator. I like it because it comes with a lot of stuff that helps you decide when to, based on using the Heikin-Ashi candles, when you want to open and close a trade. Again, that's more for use on non-scalping type kind of trading. In terms of doing an intraday or a swing type kind of trade, it works very, very well. And if you use it in conjunction with the cloud, you can do some longer term trades and make some pretty decent money. Again, it's finding a pair that you like to trade, whether it's the euro against the US dollar, or the pound against the US dollar, or Australian dollar against the Japanese yen, or whatever pair that you want to trade. You've got to find the dance and figure that out and learn how to trade with them. So we're coming up on an hour here. I'm going to call it a wrap for the day. Highly recommend, if you are going to trade, right? If you are going to trade, that you get into classes, right? If you're just like, Forrest, I don't have the time to learn how to trade. It's not in my wheelhouse. I really dig what's going on, man, but just really don't want to do it. I'm too busy. I've got a solution for you, right? We've got smart kids. I call them the smart kids, the expert traders who can actually trade for you. If you're interested in that opportunity, it's completely passive, right? All you've got to do is get with me. I'll show you how to set up an account. You open your trading account. The smart kids go in, they trade for you. And guess what? Every single Friday, they give you a paycheck. They have not missed for 3.5 years of paying out their people who decide to let them trade for you. They're really, really good crew. So if that's something you're open to learning more about, reach out to me and I'll definitely get you some ideas on that. If you do want to learn how to trade, reach out to me as well, and I can get you the information on getting enrolled in classes, and we can go from there. I love you. I appreciate you. Jesus loves you. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and help you make a lot of money. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.